With the timeline restored, James and Athena rode off into the sunset, ready for their next adventure. But as they disappeared into the horizon, a mysterious figure watched them from the shadows, a figure who seemed to be made of time itself. The figure, known as the Chronos, had been watching James and Athena for some time. He was impressed by their skills and determination, and he knew that they were the only ones who could help him with a task of great importance. As James and Athena rode into the next town, they noticed a strange old man waiting for them. He introduced himself as the Chronos, and he told them that he was the guardian of time itself. "The fabric of time is unraveling," the Chronos said, his voice grave with concern. "A rogue agent has stolen the thread of time, and if it's not recovered, the very fabric of reality will be torn apart." James and Athena knew they had to act fast. They set off on a perilous journey through time, following the trail of clues left behind by the rogue agent. They traveled to ancient civilizations, met legendary heroes, and braved treacherous landscapes. But with each step, the stakes grew higher, and the danger drew closer. Finally, they reached the rogue agent's hideout, a towering fortress built on a precipice of time itself. James and Athena knew they had to be careful, for the rogue agent had the power to manipulate time. As they infiltrated the fortress, they encountered strange creatures and obstacles that tested their skills and ingenuity. But they refused to give up, driven by their determination to protect the timeline. At last, they reached the heart of the fortress, where the rogue agent waited. He revealed that he had been seeking revenge against the Chronos, who had wronged him in the past. James and Athena knew they had to stop him, but the rogue agent had one final trick up his sleeve. He used the thread of time to create a temporal paradox, one that threatened to destroy the very fabric of reality. James and Athena were faced with an impossible choice: save the timeline or save each other. But they refused to give up, using their combined strength and ingenuity to find a solution. In the end, they succeeded in recovering the thread of time and repairing the timeline. The Chronos thanked them for their bravery, and James and Athena returned to their own time, hailed as heroes. But as they walked away from the time machine, James turned to Athena and whispered, "You know, I think our adventures are only just beginning." And with that, they disappeared into the unknown, ready for their next adventure through time. James and Athena's next adventure took them to the dawn of civilization, where they found themselves in the midst of a great city built by the ancient Sumerians. They had been sent to retrieve a powerful artifact, the Tablet of Destiny, which had been stolen by a group of rogue time travelers. As they navigated the bustling streets, they encountered a mysterious priestess named Inanna, who revealed that the tablet was hidden in the temple of the moon god, Nana. But to reach it, they would have to navigate a treacherous labyrinth and overcome deadly traps set by the ancient Sumerians. James and Athena were undaunted, using their knowledge of ancient cultures and their quick wit to overcome each obstacle. But as they reached the heart of the temple, they found themselves face to face with the leader of the rogue time travelers, a man named Erebus, who had a personal vendetta against James and Athena. Erebus revealed that he had been seeking the Tablet of Destiny to rewrite the course of history and gain ultimate power. James and Athena knew they had to stop him, but Erebus had one final trick up his sleeve, a powerful time machine that could manipulate the very fabric of reality. As the battle raged on, James and Athena found themselves hurtling through time and space, fighting to protect the timeline from Erebus's twisted plans. But just when they thought they had finally defeated him, they discovered a shocking truth. Erebus was actually a future version of James himself, driven mad by his own ambition and desire for power. James and Athena were faced with an impossible choice: save the timeline or save James's future self from his own destruction. But they refused to give up, using their combined strength and ingenuity to find a solution that would save both the timeline and James's soul. In the end, they succeeded in retrieving the Tablet of Destiny and restoring the original timeline. But as they returned to their own time, James couldn't shake off the feeling that his future was still uncertain, and that the adventures of James and Athena were far from over. As they returned to their own time, James and Athena were greeted as heroes. But James couldn't shake off the feeling that something was off. He began to experience strange visions and dreams, hinting at a dark future that awaited him. Athena noticed the change in James and tried to reassure him, but he knew that he had to face his destiny head-on. He began to research his own future, using ancient artifacts and forbidden knowledge to uncover the truth. What he discovered was shocking. He was destined to become a powerful and ruthless time traveler, one who would bring about a catastrophic future that would destroy the fabric of time itself. Determined to change his fate, James turned to Athena and the Chronos for help. Together, they hatched a plan to prevent James's future self from ever existing. But as they traveled through time, they realized that changing the past was not as simple as they had thought. Every attempt they made created a new timeline, each one more twisted and dangerous than the last. James began to lose hope, but Athena refused to give up. She knew that there was a way to break the cycle of time and prevent James's dark future from unfolding. And so they set off on a final desperate journey through time, determined to find the solution before it was too late. But as they traveled, they knew that they were running out of time, and that the fate of the timeline hung in the balance. As they journeyed through time, James and Athena encountered strange and unpredictable temporal anomalies. They witnessed events that defied explanation, and met people who seemed to be living in multiple timelines at once. Despite the chaos, they pressed on, driven by their determination to prevent James's dark future from unfolding. But with each step, the stakes grew higher, and the danger drew closer. Finally, they reached the point of no return, a temporal singularity that marked the beginning of James's descent into darkness. Here they faced a choice: to intervene and risk shattering the timeline, or to stand by and watch as James's future self brought about a catastrophic future. Athena knew that the decision was James's to make. With a heavy heart, he chose to intervene, using his knowledge of time travel to create a temporal paradox that would prevent his dark future from ever existing. The consequences were immediate. The timeline began to unravel, and James felt himself being pulled apart by the conflicting forces of time. Athena tried to hold on to him, but he was torn from her grasp, lost in the swirling vortex of the time stream. And so James disappeared into the unknown, leaving Athena alone and adrift in a sea of time. But she knew that she had to keep moving forward, no matter what lay ahead. For in the world of time travel, the only constant is change, and the only certainty is that the future is always uncertain.